Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that asks the question, what is ET short for? So we can fit on a spaceship. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of aliens, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Sidereal Confluence from WizKids. In Sidereal Confluence from WizKids, 4 to 9 players take on the roles of various alien species as they compete to build the best economy and achieve their goals through gaining the most victory points. Essentially, the mythos of the game is there was a great kind of galactic, there was conflicts throughout the galaxy, and now all of the races of the galaxy are coming together to work together peacefully and to develop technologies together. However, in doing so, they are very competitive and they're bringing their aggressive natures from war to trade. Now, this game takes place simultaneously. You don't have turns, so everything happens at the same time. The game lasts a total of 6 game rounds, and each game round has 3 phases, each with different things you can do during those phases. Each player is going to receive a specific species, which will have some of its own unique rules, maybe a little bit of differences in their technology decks. They'll have various starting converter cards that they will use as well as various other little tokens and what have you. There's also a number of different kinds of resources that represent for things like food and culture and water, and they're going to be around the board in various pool areas, around the playing area in various pool areas. You don't have a board per se, rather you put your player card and then different cards you're going to put down. These are your converters, and then you're going to have some colonies too. These are planets that you have terraformed that are within your kind of galactic domination. Now, the very first phase of the game is the trade phase. What's going to happen is you and your friends are going to go ahead and just start trading commodities, because you'll have a lot of commodities, but you'll need a lot of other commodities in order to gain things you want, either victory points or other commodities to produce. So you're going to go ahead and start trading. You can make bargains, and you can make any kind of bargain you want. You can trade any kind of commodity you've got. You cannot trade victory points, except for one exception. I'll talk about that later. But you can essentially trade just about anything that you have that you want to gain. You can also make promises for maybe future trades. However, everything you promise is binding. You cannot lie, you cannot, manipulate the negotiations. You just have to be honest, but you can try to get whatever you want to get as quickly as you want to get it. Now, also during this phase, you can run any converters that have violet arrows. Now, the converters are cards that show you can take some resources and convert them into other resources. So some of these cards have violet arrows on them. You can go ahead and run any violet arrows to create some of these new resources that you want to use. There will also be the possibility for you to upgrade cards. You can look at some of the cards you've got. You could do upgrades on them, sometimes by using technologies that match with that specific card. You can flip the card to its upgraded side so it's more powerful, or something changes on it that maybe gives you an advantage that you might want. You can also at this time invent technologies. If you have research teams, you can run them like converters, and if you can do that, you can invent a new technology, and more on that later. Now, the second phase is the economy phase, and unlike the first phase where you can do any of those things at any time, the steps here must be done in order, but again, everybody is doing them at the same time. First of all, you cannot negotiate with other players during the economy phase. Negotiations are closed, but you have to check and see your colony support. Now, your colony support level is how many colonies your species can have. Now, you can actually buy more colonies during a later phase, but at this phase, you have to discard down to your colony limit. So if you can only support 3, you'd have to get rid of any in excess of 3, any ones that you want. Now this time you're going to run the white converters. Now the majority of your tech cards have white converters. So again, you're converting whatever resources you have into new resources, usually better or things that can help you in different ways. Sometimes you're actually converting stuff into victory points. So there's different things you're going to do here in order to create new resources that you can use. Now, some of your cards, some of your converters will actually create what are called donations, and these have kind of a purple border around the particular thing it creates. Well, you take any donations and you put them on a donation card, and this will include victory points. Now, what the donation card does is during the trading phase, you can trade anything off of that, including the victory points. This is the only time you can trade victory points, but you must trade that. You cannot have that at the end of the trading phase. So if something's on your donation card that you put here during the economy phase, during the next trading phase, you have to negotiate it away. And if you can't negotiate it away, you just have to give it to someone. Next, we have the confluence phase. Now, during the confluence phase, you share technologies. Any technologies that you created, then everybody gets to get that card out of their deck if they've got it and put it in front of them, and they have that technology now. So everybody gets that technology. But because you invented it and you shared it, you get a special bonus, which is shown on the confluence cards. There are 6 confluence cards to mark the different rounds, and whatever the reward is that is showing, you get that bonus point. It's usually a victory point bonus. Next, you're going to bid on research teams and colonies. So you're going to try to bid on the colonies. Essentially, you put a number of spaceships in either hand. Spaceships are another commodity you can trade. And then you go ahead and you reveal how many spaceships you have for each of the bids, for the colonies and then for the research teams. Now, what you do is, as you resolve these bids, whoever has the most, they of course get to choose first. Now, the bids themselves have, or the colonies, the track and the research track have numbers on them. Your bid has to be higher than the number above them. Now, once you take it, you lose whatever you bid, but you can choose to pass and not do it, in which case you can keep your ships. But you can go ahead, claim any world that you can afford with your bid, and then the next person with the next highest bid, they can do the same until nobody can buy any more because they don't have enough spaceships for it, or they don't want to. Again, they can pass. But you do that again for the colonies, and then you do that for the research teams. And the research teams, of course, are important because that's how you're going to develop those technologies. So players are going to go around and around through these 3 phases. You're going to do the trades, you're going to do the negotiations, you're going to do the economy, build up your economy, and then you're going to do, of course, the bids and everything. You get all of that figured out, and then after the 6th game turn, whoever has the most victory points wins Sidereal Confluence. So I was interested in Sidereal Confluence because I heard it was a good negotiation game. And if you like the channel, if you watch the channel, you know I love negotiation games. You know, I think they're just really a lot of fun. And when I got this game, I requested it from the good people at WizKids, and they sent it to me. And when I got this game, I got to tell you, I was intimidated. This is one of the most intimidating games I can remember playing in a long time. Just the components and everything. And one of the problems is you got so many cards that look more or less the same. Little different iconography here or there, and you're thinking, oh, how am I going to keep all this straight? And I actually had one of my friends that I played with, Christopher, he said the same thing. He actually bought this game a while back, and he hasn't played it because he's been too scared to. So anyway, we got there, and I started unpacking it and started setting it up, and pretty much everybody there, we played a 6-player game the other night, everybody there was saying the same thing. This looks too complicated. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And my thought is always, well, let's try to play a round or two, see what happens. If we don't get it, we don't get it. But I'd read the rules, and I thought, well, you know, the rules actually, if you can kind of figure out the names they're using for stuff, and if you can kind of decode it, I think it sounds like there might be a pretty good game here. So we went through, and that first round was really the learning round. And we're like, okay, so we do this, okay, we do that. And then the second round was like, oh, okay, yeah, we do this, we do. And the third round was, oh, yeah, okay. So we got it pretty easy. I mean, once you get it, you got it. A few little things you're looking up rules here or there, but nothing major. We understood this. One of the big problems does come from the fact that a lot of the aliens, a lot of the factions are asymmetrical, and so they have their own little unique set of rules, and that was really where a lot of the problems were coming from when people were trying to figure out what their specific rules were in a situation. But we went through, we played it, and I got to tell you something. I think all but one of us really liked it a lot. One person that was playing with us, Brandon, he kind of said he didn't like the chaotic nature of the trading. He said he wished that it was just a thing where you could go one at a time. I will trade this for this, and you know, to me, the whole point of the game is the frantic nature of the trading. That kind of, you feel like you're in the pit in Wall Street, you know. But I really like that aspect of the game quite a bit, and I think that's fun. It's kind of this free market capitalist, just get what you can, and I really liked it. It was really a lot of fun. It's a great trading and negotiation game, and it's fun when you can get those resources and you put them on the converters and you can create those things. And in some ways, it's not unlike, you know, a lot of Euro games where, well, you've got to do this to do this. Well, here it's a matter of I got to get these resources to get this. But how you get those resources through the trades is so much fun, and it really got me involved, and it really sucked me in. And I think most of us that played it really liked it as well. So I'm looking forward to playing this one again and again and again. I think this potentially could be one of the great ones. So anyway, recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Sidereal Confluence is, yeah, 100%, you're going to want to buy this one. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, and on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. Also, too, we'd ask you to if you like this video, please give us a thumb on Board Game Geek. That helps us out a lot. And also, too, I've recently begun another YouTube channel called Cody Carlson, PhD. There I discuss topics like World War II and books on history. Please check that out, and please subscribe to that as well. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I am convinced that there is intelligent life on Mars. So how do I know? Simple. They haven't spent billions of dollars trying to come here.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Trade one big block.
Do you have a big
I'll
block?
give you this in return.
Can you make him trade me that?
If you've got some green,
Those are two
I would
anyway.
trade you this big block.
All right, I'll give you a green for a big black.
Oh, no way. Just
All right, two. I'll give you
two of those for one big block. I will do.
Done. One big black. I need one big black,
One big black.
for a victory point.
So the cylinder.
What do you want?
How about this?
I can't do big black.
Your planet. I'll throw
I
two
have
lights.
I can't do my planet.
Want a yellow
We'll do
for
that
it?
same trade.
All right.
You gotta decide. Are you gonna give me my planet back, or are you gonna give me that?
I'm just saying, I wonder if we do that same trade, and we throw the cylinder in here then?
I need a big black is what I need.
No, I do need
So I'll give you the black. You give him the cylinder, and I want.
All right, that works. Then I give you a cylinder, he gives me the black. That works.
Give me that
Or
card.
actually, I need.
For that same trade that we were proposing.
No, hold on. You're getting a cylinder for this card. That is what you're getting. You still
Hey,
own
Brandon.
10 because you've got my word.
I will give you two
That
culture
one would be
and this for 3 of these.
Hey, Brandon, is this still done?